Hey, I get it when you're eyeing a big format 3D printer, you're juggling a ton of what-ifs. Will it actually print the large parts one need without constantly jamming? Can I really switch between 5 different filaments without spending a fortune on extra hardware? And most importantly, am I going to waste money on a machine that sounds perfect on paper but turns out to be a nightmare in the shop? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon, and I'm going to walk you through exactly what you should expect from the original Prusa XL before you decide to hit that buy button. First off, the XL isn't just a bigger version of a hobbyist printer. It's built around a CoreXY motion system that keeps the print head moving fast and accurately even when the build volume stretches to a massive 400,400,400 millimeters. In a professional setting, that means you can pull a single, monolithic prototype off the bed instead of stitching together several smaller pieces. I've seen designers in small firms cut their post-processing time in half simply because they can print the whole bracket in one go, and that's a real productivity boost you can feel on the bottom line. What makes the XL stand out from other industrial-grade machines is the 5 Toolhead multi-material system. Most large printers give you a single extruder and expect you to do color swaps manually, but this unit actually holds 5 separate filament paths at once. Imagine you're producing a functional prototype that needs a flexible hinge, a rigid frame, a conductive trace, and a couple of colored accents all in one print. You load each material into its own slot, the printer's smart tool management picks the right one at the exact layer, and you end up with a part that's ready to test straight out of the build. For anyone doing mixed material prototypes, that workflow alone can justify the price tag. Now, let's talk about the things that could trip you up. The XL ships as a reeditoprint package, which sounds great until you open the box and realize the assembly isn't just snapping pieces together. The frame is massive, the belts are tensioned tightly, and you'll need a decent amount of floor space. Think of a small office or a dedicated workshop corner. If you're working out of a cramped apartment, getting the XL through a standard doorway will be a real hassle. Also, while the segmented heated bed does a clever job of only heating the zones you need, you still have to calibrate those zones the first few times you print a new material. It's not a set and forget situation. The bed temperature map can be a bit of a learning curve if you've only ever used a solid plate heated bed. Who should actually consider dropping the XL into their workflow? If you're a product designer, mechanical engineer, or small-scale manufacturing shop that regularly needs large parts and can benefit from multi-material prints, the XL hits a sweet spot. Its CoreXY architecture keeps the speed high without sacrificing the layer accuracy you need for functional testing. The 5 Toolhead system also means you won't be wasting time swapping filaments mid-print, which can be a huge cost saver when you're on tight deadlines. Moreover, because the printer integrates tightly with Prusa's own slicer and ecosystem, you get features like automatic tool changes and material waste tracking without writing custom scripts. On the flip side, if your typical prints stay under 150 mm and you're happy with single material PLA or PETG, you're probably overpaying for capabilities you'll never use. The same goes for hobbyists who enjoy tinkering with the hardware itself. The XL's design is robust, but it's also less DIY-friendly than a smaller Prusa model where you can swap out parts just for fun. And for anyone whose budget is tight, the initial cost plus the need for 5 spools of filament at a time can add up quickly. You'll see a return on that investment only if those extra materials translate directly into functional parts or reduced assembly time. Let's get into the practical strengths that show up after the first few prints. The first thing users notice is the material efficiency. The printer's smart tool manager keeps track of how much filament each tool uses and stops feeding when a tool runs low, so you rarely end up with half-spooled waste hanging on the extruder. The segmented heated bed also cuts electricity usage because it only powers the sections that are actively printing. If you're just printing a small tower in the corner, the rest of the bed stays cool. Over a month of daily use, those savings start to feel noticeable on the utility bill, which is a nice hidden perk. Another concrete advantage is the print reliability during long runs. Because the CoreXY belts stay in tension and the motion system distributes forces evenly, the XL can handle prints that run for 12+ hours without the kind of drift you sometimes see on older Cartesian machines. In a real-world scenario, a company that prints custom enclosures for electronics can leave the machine overnight and wake up to a perfectly flat top surface. No.